Good Shabbos. We'll begin with the Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem is on page number 5. We begin in the C door, and we also have 3 song sheets on the back table. We begin in the C door with the Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we turn now to page number 10 in the Siddur, page number 10 in the Siddur. Page 10 is the Yid Nefesh, the first 2 stanzas on page number 10. Yedi nefesh avarachaman mishavdach el ritzonach yarutz avdach kimo ayal yishtachaveh mohadarach ki yeravlo Yedidutach mino fetzuv v'chol tam hadur na'eh ziv olam nafshi cholat avotoch ono el na'refan Allah Beharot la noam zivach az titchazek v'titrape v'hayatalach shivchat olam yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai dai yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai dai die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 die, yada die 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 die, yada die 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 die, yada die die die, yada die 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 die, yada die 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 die, yada die 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 die. On page number 11, Lechuna Ranana. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Lechuna Ranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nikadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Bizmiro Naria Lo. Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nekadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Vizmiro Naria Lo. Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Ladonai. Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Lechuna Ranena, Ladonai. On the English side, great is Adonai, a greater sovereign than all other deities. God's hands formed the earth's deep. Mountain crests too are God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hands. Come then, let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands. If only you would listen today to God's voice and not become hard-hearted like the people at Merivah, like that time at Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way. So in anger I swore. I rest. Arbaim shana kut v'dor v'amarm to'e levavhem v'hem lo yidu drachai asher nishpati v'api im yavon el menuchati. Then on page 16, on the English side. Worshippers of idols, be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful. Light is sown for the righteous, and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. And now we turn to the song sheets. We have 3 song sheets from the rear table. The first song is Not Sure Where, Not Sure How. The very last line on the page is Heaven and Earth Touch Someplace. This song is entitled Heaven and Earth.
I'm not sure where, I'm not sure how. Maybe later, maybe now, but somewhere. Heaven and earth touch. Perhaps it's only in a dream, never to be found or be seen, but somewhere. Heaven and earth touch. I stop and look for miracles of better things to come. Perhaps I'm just too close to see the miracle is you and me. I want to believe in a better day. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe in a better way. And I want to believe that heaven and earth touch someday. In every laugh, in every tear, in every joy, in every fear, somewhere, heaven and earth touch. In every light of every day, in everything, in every way, somewhere, heaven and earth touch. We stop and look for miracles, for better things to come. Perhaps we are too close to see the miracle is you and me. I want to believe in a better day. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe in a better way. And I want to believe heaven and earth touch someplace. We look, but do we see? We listen, but do we hear? We touch, but do we feel? The signs are there, they are real. We stop and look for miracles, of better things to come. Perhaps we are too close to see the miracle is you and me. I want to believe in a better day. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe in a better way. I want to believe that heaven and earth touch someday. That heaven and earth touch someday. Heaven and earth touch someday. Heaven and earth touch someday. Heaven and earth touch someplace.
Mizmor David on page 21 in the Siddur. Return to the Siddur, page 21. This is Mizmor David. In English, it's called Psalm number 29. The Hebrew name is Mizmor David. And this psalm stands out because it mentions God's name 18 times. And you know how significant the number 18 is. But I have a sneaky suspicion that this was in use even centuries before what we call medieval European culture gravitated towards the significance of Chai. It's such a prominent feature that God's name is here so many times that this psalm comes into the Friday night service and the Saturday morning service. Mizmor LeDavid, Havuladonai Bnei Elim, Havuladonai Kavod Vos, Havuladonai Kavod Shemo, Hishtachavu Ladonai Bahadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Al Hamayim El HaKavod Hirim Adonai Al Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Ba'koach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai Et Arzei Halvanon, Vayarkidem Kmo Egel, Lebanon Visirion Kmo Ven Re'emim, Kol Adonai Chotze Vavot Eish, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yechol El Ayolot, Vayechesof Ye'arot, Vechalo Kulo Omer Kavod, Adonai Lamabul Yashav, Vayeshev Adonai Melech Le'olam, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten, Adonai Yevarech et Amo Vashalom. L'Choredi is on page 23. The opening two stanzas on page 23, the concluding two stanzas on page 25. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lekrat Shabbat lechuven elcha, ki makor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. 25 Yamin. Yamin osmo tifrotzi, v'et Adonai ta'aritzi, al yadish ben partzi, v'nismecha v'nagila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Bo'e v'shalom ateret balach, gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala, toch emunei am skula, bo'e chala. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabela. Remaining standing, please. on page 28. It's the last two stanzas. This is a declaration from the book of Psalms that you and I have a role to play in the world. The world needs our activism, our presence, our influence. The world calls out and says we need righteous people. That's Tzadik Katamai Yifrach. The last two stanzas on the English side, page number 28. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in our God's courtyards. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, in whom there is no flaw. On the Hebrew, the Tzadik Katamar, also found in the red transliteration. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Kerez Balbanon Yizka Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenovon Beseva Deshenim Verananim Yeyo Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonai Tzori V'lo Avlatabo. Please remain standing. The Borchu, page 39a. Borchu, page 39a. Baruch hu et Adonai Amavorach. Baruch Adonai Amavorach Leolam Voed. We are seated. The first bracha before the Shema on the English side, 39a, aloud. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each. Umariyam umevi laila, umavdir ben yom uvein laila l'noi tzvot shmo, el chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chalein olam voed, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'arim aravim. Turn for a moment to page 40. And you see the top of the page, the first line in English with timeless love. The Hebrew is Ahavat Olam. I now turn to the second song sheet. It's entitled Craig Taubman Ahavat Olam. And if you look at this song sheet, you see Ahavat Olam, which is the name of the paragraph or the name of the bracha, because it begins with Ahavat Olam. And then if you look at the Hebrew side, counting up from the bottom, 5 lines up, it's 3 lines above the little red arrow, you have Kihem Chayenu, and so too on the transliteration side you see Kihem Chayenu, which is 5 lines up. Kihem Chayenu means the words of Torah, the commitment by God to all of Israel. That's Chayenu, that's our life. And so tonight, This song, Craig Talman, Ahavas Chesed Kim Chayenu.
Day and night, show us the way, teaching us to number our days. When we rise, when we lie down, Ahavat Olam, Ki Hem Chayenu, Ve'orech Yameinu, Uvahem Negeh, Yomam Valayla, Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh, yomam v'layla. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, Uvahem negeh, yomam v'layla. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu.
On page 40, the last two lines on the English side, do not ever withdraw your love from us. Baruch atah Adonai, who loves the people Israel. V'abatachal tesimimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ruthie, May, come on up. Page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kol Machdalam V'Ed. Ve'afta את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Go back to your seats. A few moments of silence on page number 42. Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn to the Michamoch on page 44. Page 44. On the Hebrew side, the second stanza down. Mi chamocha ve'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh norati lot ol sefelem malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokeh yam lifnei Moshe zeli onu v'yamro Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miyad chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai gal Yisrael. On page 45, on the English side, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Hapores sukat shalom aleinu, V'al kol amo Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim. Turning to page 46, we welcome a guest cantor. Cantor Debbie Bletstein is joining us this evening. Vishamru, the top of page number 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Ba'amad yivrokotim chlutei b'chayechon v'yom echon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala uv'izman karif v'imeru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach la'olam li'olmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitpar v'yinaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesh abrichu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alman v'imero amen. In the moment we rise for the Amidah, which begins on page 47, nighttime the Amidah is quiet. Daytime we begin the Amidah out loud and then we continue in silence. Why? Well, there are a number of reasons, but tonight I want to just offer a little sermonic. Sometimes we need to hear someone else begin his or her prayer to kickstart us. We can kind of gain strength or momentum by hearing someone else. Sometimes we need quiet. We need silence to get started. So now an opportunity for us to rise. The traditional text, page 47 to 52, or a few moments of silent prayer. A question for tonight. Does God meet your needs? And to get the ball rolling, here's your prompt. Identify the needs with which you would associate God. And then we can start puzzling over the question, does God meet your needs? Identify the needs which you would associate with God so you can address the issue, the question, does God meet your needs? And before a few of you take a moment to respond, and hopefully a number will, a short story to give you a couple of moments to gather your thoughts. And tomorrow we read one of the most famous of all Torah passages. Jacob, who has purloined the blessing rightly belonging to his elder twin Esau runs away. He's done something wrong, and he runs away. Something that many of us can identify with. He runs away because he's afraid his older twin is going to come after him. We don't know how old they are, but they are twins. But as Jacob is running away, his father, blind Isaac, says, by the way, go north, travel to Syria, meet up with your uncle, and when it's time to get married, marry the right kind of woman from the clan, from your cousins. And Esau overhears this, and because he's still hurting and ticked off, he goes and he marries a woman from a local Canaanite tribe to spite his mother and father. So they're old enough to go on long trips and to get ready to get married. So we imagine that they are late teens, early 20s, and Jacob runs away, and he's hiding in the middle of nowhere. And finally he falls asleep, and he has a dream. And in the dream, he sees a ladder from his bed of rocks stretching up to some celestial realm, and angels are ascending and descending this ladder, and he hears God, and God says, the land upon which you are sleeping will become yours someday, and it's going to be handed down to your children and grandchildren and descendants and generations and generations. And Jacob wakes up and says, wow, God must be here. And then Jacob says, I promise you, God, if you give me food to eat and clothing to wear and watch over me while I'm traveling and grant me peace, then you'll be my God. So Jacob says, this is what I need: food, clothes, shelter, and safety, and then you'll be my God. And God says, you are going to own the land that you're running away from for generations, centuries, millennia. And it strikes me that Jacob wants tangible, protective needs covered because he's by himself. He's scared of his brother. He's afraid of his dad. He's all alone, doesn't know where he's going. And God says, someday, for thousands of years into the future, your descendants will own this land. And we're the descendants, so the thousands of years from ago is now us. But there's a disconnect. And so it raises the issue, is God meeting Jacob's needs? God's calling out and saying, you're going to have a permanence that's going to long transcend your own view, your own perspective, your own reality. And Jacob is saying, I'm alone. I'm scared. I'm cold. I'm hungry. I'm lost. Is God meeting Jacob's needs? And so that gets me thinking, is God meeting our needs? So now, if some of you have a thought to share, is God meeting your needs?
Relating to the Jacob story, is it God's responsibility to provide Jacob's needs, or is Jacob able to provide his own needs, provide for himself?
So that might be why God is saying, you're going to enjoy, control, benefit from this land, and it's going to be yours just about forever.
He can't see that far ahead.
You can't see
His stomach is growling, he's cold,
Exactly.
he's afraid of his brother is coming after him. Feed me now, I'll worry about the land tomorrow.
And that's why I ask, is God meeting Jacob's needs?
Well, he survives for another day, so yes.
Okay, because he woke up the next morning. So that's the starting point to come to us. If God is or is not meeting Jacob's needs, then the question is God meeting your needs? Roll Tide.
Well, I have to argue with your premise. I think the question is wrong. Are we meeting God's needs? That's the whole issue.
Turn around. Okay, keep going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Develop it, Bert. Keep on going.
Well, that's who we are. That's who we are as Jews. He asks so little of us. The Ahavas, what does he ask of us? Simple things, and he'll give us everything.
So are we meeting God's needs? It's a fair question. Are we meeting God's needs? Sometimes. Okay, so let's be a bit more specific because you're here. You're the focus group. Are you meeting God's needs? Is God meeting your needs? The question's open in any way that you wish to respond to it.
I think you have to sort of decide what are your needs,
What are your needs?
what are God's needs.
What are God's needs? Okay, so that's why I started off with the question of God meeting our needs, because we are probably, I imagine, more clear on what our own needs are than what perhaps God needs. But you're free to answer it any way. We're in Shul, in Mobile, Alabama. It's a fair question to ask. Is God meeting your needs? Or if you want to turn around and say, are you meeting God's needs? But one of those questions needs to be addressed because of tomorrow's Torah reading.
Well, I think we can't see forever into the future. So our needs are more here and now, today, tomorrow, the next day, whereas God's needs are forever into the future.
But everybody's needs,
Everybody's needs are different.
as the world goes on.
But most of us plain old earthlings need food, clothing, shelter, warmth, a place to live, and a sense of safety along our path. And the path referred to in the Torah reading tomorrow is literally getting from point A to point B down the road, but it could also symbolically refer to our life's path, a sense of peace along our life's path. Those are our needs, and in that way, we have a lot in common with one another.
But most of us here have food.
Most of us here have food.
So then our needs probably overthinking or beyond.
So does that mean that when some of us happen to be, hopefully, blessed to have our immediate material needs met, then we have the luxury of looking further into the future? Thinking of years to come, generations yet to be, generations and thereafter, which means centuries and maybe even millennia. Well, that's far beyond my grasp. How often do you think about your needs being met by God?
I think it's how it's the, when you look up at the blue sky and it's like, whoa, that's a gift there. That, the pretty clouds or you look up and, he gave us the ability to earn, shelter for ourselves, but those wow moments of watching the oceans and looking up at the sky, that's a gift.
But if you're cold or alone or hungry or scared, you don't have a chance. You're preoccupied, and therefore you're not looking at the sky or the ocean or a beautiful expanse or a vista.
But that's not God's role. Every time I hear a football player saying that God gave me this, the winning game, the ability to win this game, it burns my head. God doesn't do this. You have to do it. God wakes you up in the morning, and the rest is up to you. What a blessing.
Exactly right. As we mature, as we live our lives, as we overcome being cold, hungry, alone, lost, scared, we start to see a slightly different path. Maybe that's what's going on in tomorrow's Torah reading. When Yaakov Avinu says, I need food, clothing, and by the way, my shoe is a size 10.5. And God says, look what you've got here. And it's going to go on and on and on beyond time, forever. There's a sense of reassurance, a sense of being anchored in the reality of the future. But that's really hard to see when you're alone, scared, and cold, and a runaway. So maybe until we are able to grow past those needs of ours, we can see a future. I know nothing more than you. I know nothing less than you in this regard. I'm just posing the question. May we continue to grow. And my prayer for all of you is that you be blessed as you continue on your journey with health, with safety, with not being cold and alone, with having shalom. And may you feel that you're part of the world, and that your part of the world is permanent and established and connected to something much grander than you and me. Amen. We rise for the Aleinu on page 56. Ladies, come on up to the bima, please. The Aleinu is on page 56. Aleinu is on page 56. Don't trip over the device there, okay? Face the ark. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kgoye haratzot velo samanu kemishpachot adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'goraleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu Shehu note shamayim v'yosed haaretz u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim mimal u'shchinatu zo begavhei meromim hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu efes zulato kakatu b'torato v'yadat ayom v'ashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim mimal v'al haaretz mitachat ein od. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Go back to your seats, ladies. Please now we remain standing as we turn to Kaddish Tome on page number 58. And on this Shabbat we remember with great love Julius Wolf Olinsky, Joanne Conlon, Jack Gerwich, Jenny Plotka, Max Levy, Brandy Gerwich, Florence Dorothy Posner, Bernie Malkov, Anna Muchnick Sates, Jacob Mazel, Rose Ratner, Ida Rubin, Mashi Weinstein, Ruth Berger, Martin Brookoff. Are there any other names to mention this evening? Perhaps somebody at home has a name to share as well. We're remembering all of our people who have been stolen from us in Israel by wicked attacks of cruelty. We pray Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba. Amen. Be'olma divara chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chaye chon u'v'yomeh chon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zaman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mivorach la'olam u'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha, b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma, v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We were seated. A reminder, we call it Kaddish Tome. Some people call it by the English name, the nickname Mourner's Kaddish, but there's no mention of sorrow in the Mourner's Kaddish. We speak of hope, we speak of faith in God, and we speak of world peace. That's how we are nearly concluding the service as we're about to walk out the door. The the last words and the last touch, last emotion we're really supposed to feel. I mean, we'll get to Kiddush in a minute. But the last part of the service that you're supposed to really feel as you're walking out the door, perhaps while we're even greeting people who are marking Yortzeit or mourning, that last touch is hope, love, faith, and peace. That's how we walk out the door. And when you think about it, we walk in the door with Shalom Aleichem, message of peace. Our entire experience is bracketed in those ways. We'll make Kiddush in just a minute. After we conclude with this song. This is a song, it's the last song sheet. And it's by Michelle Citrin. And if you look at the very top of this song sheet, the song is Someday I'm Going to Make It Happen, but I want you to look at the first little one-line, two-line quote you see at the top of the page. This is actually from Pirkei Avot. It's, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, who am I? This is one of the quotes ascribed to Rabbi Hillel. You know Hillel. You've heard of Hillel and Shammai. This is Hillel. And I entitled this A Very Smart Man because people might be tired of hearing me talk again and again about Pirkei Avot, ethics of the fathers found in the Talmud, but this is one of his famous teachings. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Which means right now, every day, I've got to go out there and make a difference for myself and for everyone else simultaneously. Pirkei Avot, a modern take by Michelle Citrin.
Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen, but if not now. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen, but if not now, then when? So many people talking, they shake their head and say the world's not working. There's so many people talking, but they don't do a thing. At the end of the day, I don't wanna say I could live my life their way. Oh no, no, at the end of the day, I don't wanna say that I coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't, but now it's just too late. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen, but if not now, then when? So many people watching, they watch the world through a box that's talking. So many people watching, the lives on ABC, BBC, MTV, CNN. When does it end? At the end of the day, I don't wanna say I could live my life their way. Oh no, no, at the end of the day, I don't wanna say that I coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't, but now it's just too late. Why do we wait? Or do we hesitate? We give a little too much too late. We paralyze our minds by things we've never done before. You're gonna keep on looking out the window. Are you gonna open up the door? Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. But if not now, then when? And I said, someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. Someday I'm gonna make it happen. But if not now.
Good Shabbos. Thanks for joining in. May you know that you are loved, you're part of our community. May God bless you until we see each other in person. Shabbat.